Hello and welcome to
I
the Misfit
knew she was
Vegan podcast.
It's not your podcast.
Oh,
Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing? I have a special guest.
that's not your real voice.
This is my voice.
No, not.
This is my podcast.
Oh, right.
Voice.
Okay, so let me get on my podcast voice. Oh, I'm rusty.
Yeah,
You're rusty.
she's not prepared. But this is my guest.
How did you
Ms.FitVegan.
turn that voice on so fast?
I had it on all day. I'm tired.
Hey guys, what up?
Don't scream in my beautiful, precious microphone.
Oh, sorry.
So, okay, so you know why you're not a guest? Because you're too comfortable to be a guest. So
Sorry.
she's my best friend. But I wanted to ask her a few questions because I think she's doing things that's very incredible, and then she's an entrepreneur, and she's able to live and be independent and being her own boss.
That's right, ho.
There's no cursing in this podcast.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Is that what curse?
I don't know.
Okay.
It sounds like it.
Hey guys, what's up? It's
What?
me. And I'm about to change your life.
You know what? Actually, I don't know if that was
No,
a good idea
please.
have
I want to
this
share my
special guest.
knowledge and guidance. I want to
Are
guide
you?
people. I'm a mentor.
And I promise, guys, she's not drunk. She just sounds like it.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, so Ms.FitVegan, Jeanette,
Yes.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
So, how do you keep pushing? How do you put out a lot of content even if you don't want to?
Oh, such a good question. I
mean, I feel like there's a part of you that likes it, but I'm sure that's not always
the
case.
Okay, so the truth is that I love creating content, but I also hate it. But I love it more than I hate it. And I think that's the key. I love putting out content. I love sharing. It makes me feel like I'm doing something important. Sorry, I don't have such a beautiful voice, guys, because I just can't do it. I'm exhausted.
But you have a nice voice, so let's calm down.
I can't do the Our World Art podcast voice. But what I can do is give you some value. And the value is, if you want to be successful in anything, find something you love more than you hate. Because some days I don't feel like doing it, but then I start filming, I start doing a podcast, I'm remembering, like I get reminded why I'm doing this, because I love it. I love to share. It literally makes me feel like I'm here for a reason.
That's so interesting because I don't feel the same. Maybe because there's a lot of anxiety by sharing.
You haven't tapped into your purpose yet. You haven't tapped into it. Because when you tap into it, you're going to know. You're going to be like, wow, this makes me feel so good to do it. And by the way, it's not always easy. And you don't always want to do it too. Like, for example,
obviously, it's like
today I didn't really want to do it. But then when I started, today, guys, we filmed a bunch of podcasts, I guess we would call it, or YouTube videos in a studio. And I didn't want to go and I didn't want to do it. But then when we started, didn't you love it, Awa?
Yeah, that was great. You didn't want to go?
No, because I don't like being on camera. I don't like the whole process. I have to deal with my hair. I have to deal with my lolos. I have to deal with lolos are boobs. And, I have to figure out what to wear. But then once I get there and I get started, I feel so good because I know that I'm doing something. It feels like fulfilling. I'm doing something important. And a lot of people, they create content and they try to make money online doing something they think will make money, and they don't stick with it long enough to see the results because they don't care. There's no fulfillment. There's no real message there. And that's why I have been able to stick to it long enough to see results, because I actually get fulfilled by doing it.
Yes. So I guess maybe this is just finding your way of, I won't say to be creative, but like, for example, I prefer right now to just like open up my phone or my computer, record a podcast, and actually go to Instagram and post something.
So that's your what's the word?
Creative outlet.
Outlet, yeah. That's your ideal outlet.
One of the outlets. Yeah, I prefer to just like use my voice. I don't have to think about
Yes,
the way I look.
that's your outlet.
Because every time I want to post something, I'm going to think, is there value? Is there this and that? And this is so weird because I was really scared actually to put my voice out there first. But now that I'm like, okay, it's okay. I can just share my message and I'm good enough. The podcast is also about like finding the self-esteem inside of you and still find the strength to do it even if you don't feel good enough. But the visual on Instagram is giving me so much anxiety that it was actually a challenge for me to just post, remember?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Now, I think that a big breakthrough, and I don't want to sound like I'm like doing big things because I'm not yet, right? I don't have my restaurant. I don't have 1 million subscribers yet. I don't have all these things that I know I will have one day. But I think a big part of my journey has been breaking free from feeling the pressure to create valuable content.
Mm-hmm.
I now realize that I can just share. I can just share my experience, and that is actually valuable. I have gotten so many emails and messages from people saying that just by sharing, they learned. Just by sharing, it was valuable. So I didn't have to think of something valuable to say or like something valuable to offer, and that's a big roadblock by so many people, like by you and me in the past, where it's like, okay, what is this podcast going to be about? Well, most of the podcasts on my channel, the Ms.FitVegan podcast on Spotify and Apple. Ms.FitVegan's also on YouTube and Instagram and www.100freerecipes.com.
6 people that follow me.
Have you got my free book though? 100freerecipes.com though? Okay, wait. So anyway, I forgot where I was going.
She just wanted to promote herself.
Oh yeah,
this is good.
So many people have messaged me, and what I was gonna say was sometimes I absolutely have no idea what the podcast is gonna be about.
Right.
I press record and I say, "This is the Ms.FitVegan podcast episode, whatever it is," and then I just talk. And I say, sometimes I'm like, I really don't know what this podcast is about, but you know what? Here's what I'm doing today. Here's what I'm feeling today. Here's what I'm experiencing today. Here's what I'm eating today. Here's a question that somebody, like a default is like always, okay, a question came in and here's the answer. If I absolutely can't think, but otherwise, you can just share your day, your experience. People just want to connect with you.
Yeah, something that you start. And then I just one of my, thank you for that.
Thank you.
For my affirmation cards that I like to read time to time. And then one of them is make things you want to watch and share. Share your style. Or like, things that you want to hear. Like sometimes I think I'm just a perfectionist in what I want to do, and because I am, I just don't want to do it anymore. But when I'm just like, you know what? The same way that I like to listen to some videos on YouTube or conversations, I feel like I can do the same. But I forgot what was the first question that I asked you. Yeah,
you can absolutely. We can all do it. We all can do it. If you can speak, if you have a voice, you need to use it.
Yeah. The key is to stop judging. Like I remember the first few podcasts I was recording, and I probably only have 10 between the English and French that I started it, and there's many I just stopped because I was like, oh my God. Like I was criticizing myself as I was talking. And
that's gonna happen.
Yeah. And I'm just like, well, you know what? If you don't like it, it's okay. The key is that I'm just going through a process and I'm releasing a lot of stuff.
And then just let that thought pass like a cloud.
Yeah, you just let it pass.
Like you say.
And another affirmation that I have on my cards is you are enough to share your podcast when your intuition tells you so. But I have to always add you are enough, because sometimes I'm like, criticizing myself. Why should I talk about this? Am I an expert on this subject? No. But it's just like breaking free and removing the pieces, because and the reason why I asked Ms.FitVegan is because like Jeanette, when she first started her journey, she cannot even post one picture of herself on social media. And there's not even one photos of her. And now people are complaining, you posting too much, which is crazy. But guess what? She's doing what she has to do. So it's like you see the evolution and what you have to, what you went through, and that's why I wanted to ask, your point of view. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to say one more thing. It was on the tip of my tongue. I wanted to say that one of the worst things you can do is start your channel, start your stuff, and then just expect people to sign up for your coaching or get your books.
Right.
The best thing you can do is to just stay consistent and don't even worry about the value, because like Awa knows, and maybe you know, but I'm going to remind you, talking to the computer, people buy from people they know, like, and trust. How do people get to know you? They see you every day. How do people get to like you? They see you every day. How do people get to trust you? They see you every day. Don't ever take a day off. Okay? You know, like, and trust people that you see every day. So it doesn't matter if it's a good post, if it's a bad post, if it's a medium post, just post. And that's what I started doing. I just started giving myself, like, putting way less pressure on myself and just saying, you know what? I'm going to post every day, no matter what. Maybe it's a picture of my face. Maybe it's a picture of fruit. Maybe it's a reel. Maybe it's not. But whatever it is, I'm going to post on my page and my story every single day. And you just keep going and you keep doing it over and over. And guess what? You wake up one day and you can work for yourself and you can't believe that it's true, that it's real. But by the way, it's been almost 7 years of up and way down and way up. So many, the Entrepreneurial Roller Coaster, which is a great book by Darren Hardy. Highly recommend it.
Oh, that's the title of his book?
Yep.
Yeah.
It is such an amazing ride because you get to high highs and the lowest lows. And so I'm not going to say I recommend it for everybody, but if you want to live free, and like Awa wants to travel the world, so do I. If you want to live free to be able to do that, well, you're going to have to go to the high of the highs and the low of the lows. And it's going to get low, but guess what? The high's coming. If you're in the middle of a burden, don't worry, a blessing is on its way. Yes. If you're in the middle of a blessing, don't worry, boo. A burden is on its way, and that is life. And that is the entrepreneurial ride.
Yes, and I love that. And eventually there will be the goal. And I think through this journey of sharing, you also learn about yourself and see what you like and what you don't like, and then where you feel more comfortable at than just, But to me, the hardest thing in the world is the consistency.
Okay, so let's master. How can we master consistency?
That's why I want to tattoo myself discipline. Yeah, so how can you master? I mean, there's no secret. You just have to do it and find like a plan. But maybe like since the brain like very small numbers, the consistency is like, can you be consistent, for example, of like doing something like twice a week, then 3 times a week,
yes,
then 4 times a week, then 5.
You set an alarm to go off on your phone Monday, Wednesday, Friday saying post so you can travel the world. You know what I mean? Or post so you can support your family. Post so you make it
Finding
not about
your why. You gotta find your why.
Yeah.
Yeah. You gotta find your why and remind yourself of why you're doing certain things.
That's another thing, Awa. Like, thank you for having this podcast, because it's so important for me to be reminded of why I'm doing this. And the reason why I'm able to be consistent and I'm doing what I'm doing is because it's not about me. And today I was so nervous and I was worried about my hair and everything because it's about me. I'm making it all about me, me, me. But what about somebody else that I could change their life because of this? They could reverse their stage 4 cancer because of what I say, because of this diet that I'm promoting. So like, I was upset because I did an interview a few weeks ago and my hair doesn't look good. But it's like, fuck it. Somebody could hear that and that could save their life. So if a bunch of people in the comments are saying that my hair doesn't look good, who gives a fuck? So thank you for this podcast. It actually really helped me.
Yeah.
Fuck it. It's not about my hair or me.
That's the stuff that we always have to remind ourselves because we get carried away. So me, every time, like, I have to remind myself, like, for my nephews, for my family, like, okay, get up, do it. Like, for the consistency
Post
part,
it somewhere. Write it and put it on your mirror, Awa.
Yeah.
Nephews.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, like, that's going to help you be consistent.
Yeah, but it's also, like, learning to form, like, a habit with the schedule that you have. And and then just keep your words to yourself. I mean, this is like the hardest thing.
Atomic
It's
Habits
simple and
is a
then
great book.
it's hard at the same time,
Of course, yes.
And also something that I like to that's part of my affirmation cards that I like to remind myself is that you can't control people's reaction to your work. You put your creations out there and then you move on. Because sometimes you feel like you want to be in control and then you're like, oh, they're going to think my hair is this and that. They're going to react. But it's really like our reactions. And I'm just saying that because I feel like I'm coming back from above the water from like 2 podcasts ago. And I'm like, I really have this thirst to share, create, and be the artist that I am.
Yes.
Because it's been so long, like it's probably like half a year, like no music, no art, no podcast, no nothing. And now I'm just like, oh my God, I feel like I'm finally kind of getting back to myself. And even if I feel still feeling comfortable and all that fun stuff, like I just gotta do something.
Yes, and without being creative, we die.
Yeah,
so like
I was dying.
Now, can you please share? Did you feel any breakthrough today by any chance? Because I just want you guys to know I finally invested in myself. Awa and I invested in ourselves, and we recorded in a professional studio for the first time today. 4 different podcasts that are going to be on this channel. Well, 2 for sure. I don't know if Awa wants all 4, but the Q&A.
I don't know about that.
But definitely the 2 that Awa is speaking about, her story and her life and sharing her knowledge and wisdom. But how did that feel today? And did it feel good? Did it feel bad? Did you feel, what were your feelings looking back?
It felt great, and I think it felt great because I think we were alone in the room. I think that really helped. Intimidating at first to have like so many cameras around you, but honestly, it's like I forget about it and I don't forget about it. I think the time that I break free, that's when we were doing the diet show together in the house, because I was so, I won't say crazy the first ones, because in my head I keep judging everything I said, and then I was like, oh my God, I want to sound smart, and I don't want people to think that I'm stupid, that I don't know what I'm talking about, but everything was like really coming from my insecurities. So today it felt really, it felt really nice, and actually the time went very, very fast. I definitely want to do it again, and I think it's helping me because what I've noticed is that the voice that the critic, my inner critic voice is like lowering down and lowering down, lowering down. Like, because it's like as you speak, sometimes you can multitask and say, oh my God, I can't believe I said that. I can't believe this and that. Or my hair look, or my mouth look, this and that. And now it's just like, okay, learning to be very present and not judging myself and just enjoy the moment.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Every time you do something new that's scary, you grow and you become, and that includes being consistent, because it can be very scary to be consistent. But then after a while, you break through and you realize that you can do it, and you don't have to put so much pressure on yourself.
Yeah.
And you know what? There are seasons for everything. So, like, even like famous artists, they go through seasons where they don't share, they don't make music, and then they
Exactly.
come back to it because we're humans, we're not robots.
That's right.
So there's time and places for everything, and there's ups and downs, and so it happens. It definitely happens. But I have to be honest. You want something, you got to push through that. And even when
Yeah.
you don't feel like, Awa and I, we sometimes disagree with this, where like she's like, you can't pressure creativity. Like, I can't make music if I don't feel like making music. But I would say the most successful people on earth do it anyway. They make music even when they feel absolutely no inspiration. So that's what I think
didn't
is
reach
really
that
important. No,
because
even if it's a crappy piece of music, you make it.
yeah, no, I start something, but I'm so frustrated because it's like there's nothing that pulling together. It's like it's hard to describe. But yeah, I I know what you're trying to say. Yeah, even to do art, but to me it's just like When I have a creative block, it's
It's
like
it's
blocked.
not, yeah, it's a fine line because
Yeah.
I'm not an artist. I'm not I'm not a producer, even though I went to audio engineer school and I owe them $15,000 still. But
This is
it's
where we
ruining
met,
my
guys.
credit.
This is where we met in school.
Even though audio engineer school is ruining my credit. Um and so I am somewhat of a artist, but anyway, I'm not a real artist like Awa.
No, you
So
are
I
an
can't
artist.
relate because
Yes.
she is creative. I'm not.
Oh no, you cannot say you're
No,
not.
I'm not making art. I'm not making music.
Listen, art is subjective.
Talking about
Art
fruit
is
and
not.
vegetables.
You're not just talking because she makes beautiful photos. You post very beautiful photos. You make like
I don't make
you
anything.
make reels, all that stuff, and it's art. Your stories. I'm always impressed by your stories. It's like
Mm.
the way she chose
Follow me on Ms.FitVegan
the writing and
at
everything.
Instagram, YouTube,
Yes, just follow Ms.FitVegan.
MsFitMondays.com.
Oh, that's the new name.
Kuba has to fix it for me, but
Ah,
and that it'll be soon.
it'll be there.
MsFitMondays.com
But
coming to you
art is
soon.
not just music, like writing, sharing, you writing books and stuff. This is a form of art.
Mm.
So I just explained that for me, like it's like a complete block, but for some people this is where the most beautiful song is gonna come out of depression and all that stuff. It depends on their state and their waves.
And by the way, everything's happening for a reason.
Yeah.
Please understand that.
Yeah.
You were not consistent in the past for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
My hair was fucked up on that podcast for a reason. You know why? Because maybe Dr. Oz gonna call me and I needed to see that. I needed to have fucked up hair so that I could have beautiful hair on Dr. Oz. So I can get my shit together now.
Oh,
You see what I'm
okay.
saying?
I understand. I was like, where's she bringing the hair? No.
You see what I'm saying?
And of course, because
There's a reason for everything.
You always become better and better. But thank you so much, Ms.FitVegan, for coming on my podcast.
You're welcome.
And I just want to finish by this little, I guess it's not a quote, but I want to read. Maybe I didn't spell it really right, but it really doesn't need to be so hard. Just give in, stop resisting. Just stop resisting, just give in and stay consistent with creating whatever you're trying to do. And if your consistency is once a month, then it's okay. And just go from there. But thank you for coming and giving me some advice and
Thanks for having me,
and
our
wisdom.
world art fans.
Thank you. A lot of wisdom. And then we'll see you in the next episode. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.